Vivid view.
Say and do it.
You are graciously welcome to Healy's talk show. To God be the glory. There is always a better way. Our challenge is to find it. Say something, somebody.
My name is Moses Wonsu. From my own understanding, there is always a better way. Our challenge is to find it. There's this Igbo adage that says, "Only ajujad hefuzo," bringing it down to English. It says that he that seeks for knowledge will not always lose his path. So what it simply means, when you have a problem, ask questions, seek from people who know better than you, and you find a solution. Thank you.
From my own point of view, for every situation, problems and ugly happenings around us, all we need is careful study and observation of that particular problem. I believe the solution is around the corner. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the contributions. For me, Healy's, there is always a better way. Our challenge is to find it. There's always a better way of doing certain things. It could be your study, it could be your workplace. There's always way of doing it. My mother used to say that there are so many ways to go to Onitsha market. That means you don't need to depend and stand on one thing continuously. There's better ways to do it. I don't also mean that you should become a jack of all trades, a master of none. No. But if you try something and it didn't work the way, there's always a better way. So discover it. Another way to approach that issue. Discover it. That's where the challenge lies. So, but if you don't remain, fold your hands as a youth, you young ones coming up, you don't remain this subject, for example, is so tough. I don't know. In fact, I don't understand. I don't even know. I don't understand the way the lecturer is even delivering the lectures. You could find another way. What's the other way? Look for your colleague in the class that is good in that subject and pair with him or her. That's another way. Don't remain there. So because I deal with the youth, so whenever I talk about this, I relate it to the youth. So thank you so much for your contribution. So we'll continue with today's discussion. As a matter of fact, knowledge is power and information is key. Importance of media autonomy to our democratic values is the topic for today's discussion. The guests will be introduced shortly after this break. Please stay with us. Vivid view.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic again is importance of media autonomy to our democratic values. And with me in the studio today is a health journalist of Nigeria. Let's make welcome Yinka Shokumbi.
Vivid view.
Say and do it.
Thank you.
Before discussion proper, please follow us on our social media handles as displayed on the screen. You're welcome again, Yinka.
Thank you.
Nice having you. So let's just go straight to the topic for today. It's a brief introductions and your perspectives, the subject matter.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show.
Yes.
When we talk about media autonomy, we are actually relating the means of communication between two people, especially the government and the people. The media is the bridge. So it's the ability of the media itself to be free, to be self-reliant, to be objective, and to have independence of its own. So it's very important that the media should have a freedom, should have self-reliance in terms of economic empowerment of its own, not depending on government for handouts and all that. And also to have independent perspective to issues, because the media is described as the mirror of the society.
Yeah.
So when that's talking about the media autonomy, and when you now talk about our democratic values, what are those stones on which the values of our democracy stand? We have the judiciary. Before you get there, you must have a free election.
Of course.
We've just gone through a cycle. So there must be free election. You must have good results, acceptable and welcome by may not be everybody that will welcome the result, but it's acceptable. This seems to be free, seems to be fair. And there must be free judiciary to handle cases. Those are the tripod on which our democratic values, are placed. At the end of the day, what are we expecting from government? Good governance.
Of course.
And dividend of democracy. For me, when you have a media that is free, independent, self-reliant economically, they can deliver for the people what they really need to know so that they can choose.
Information is key.
Yes.
Because they are the people that pass information to the public.
So they can really deliver what the people need to know and take informed decision, empower the people.
But you just make a statement, say they can really deliver what the people need to know. Sometimes some of the news also have from media. It sounds misleading. I do not know. Sometimes they will just go and publish so without even, proper investigation of an issue. So how do you look at that?
Well, you see, the primary role and objective of the media is still sacrosanct. But today we are talking of new media. Today we are talking about citizen journalism. But the real media that is traditional is still on the truth. Foundation of the real media is still on objectivity, truth, and must also support itself with independent opinion. You garner opinion of people and you project it.
Because it's actually really funny when a particular issue happens, something happens, you have almost 10 different reports from 10 different media. You surprised. This one will say is 8 person died. This one will say is 6. This one will say is 5. You begin to wonder.
An objective media will seek to know the truth.
Exactly.
And follow it. If a reporter gets to the scene of an accident, like you said, and people are saying the accident has
they shouldn't be in a hurry to publish what they're about to
you need to go to the experts. You can't, no media person is given empowerment to tell whether somebody has died. He's not a doctor. So you cannot say someone has died at that accident scene. You have to verify, follow through to the safety officers, even to the hospital to know whether anyone has died at that accident scene.
All right, thank you so much. That takes me to the second question. What influence does the government have in the editorial board of the media? Do they really have any influence?
Well, there is this saying that he who owns the piper will dictate the tune. As far as I'm concerned, the media could be private or public.
Yeah, that's right.
When the media is owned by the government, there is the tendency that
there'll be some regulations.
In fact, we all have regulations that the government puts
whether
on
government
control.
Or private.
Whether government or private. But for the government, yes, there will be some elements of control. Yeah. However, because we are all in the system, whether you are private or public, you are in the system that has government control. Therefore, whatever government is saying, you need to still view it. Yeah. You need to look at it from all sides.
In spite of being autonomous.
All sides, all sides of the story. Like it is said that there are more than a side to a story. There are even all sides. It's not just two. The coin has more than 2 sides. But though you flip it, but the edges are also.
I see part of it.
So the government cannot really influence. It's not that the government will actually come to dictate, but most of the time it's self-censorship. Okay. And people say compromise sometimes. So people say compromise. But when it comes to the government media, you know your principle and you are trying to play to the tune of the principle because you still want to own your job.
If you after this election and they said that one of the media houses was fined for some comments made by one of the big guys. I don't want to mention name. Yeah. So what I'm saying is we have such an opportunity, or they are empowered to do such, because they felt that the man steps his toes. He said more than what he ought to have said during the interview, and then that channel was, media was fined.
Since that incident, a lot of people have spoken out to say that should the media house have been fined? Could you have known the mind of your guest.
Exactly.
I'm here now. You don't know what is in my mind. Could you have known the mind of your guest? However, you could get a hint when your guest is getting overboard.
Okay.
And sometimes you could just stop
Take his time to stop. Okay.
to try to stop.
All right.
But nonetheless, sometimes there's overzealousness on the side of government. Don't even bother to ask.
Yes.
There's overzealousness. The person who is calling the shot that you should find that media house is probably thinking he will be sanctioned on his own end, and he wants to play the good boy.
Okay, we'll take a break now. Vivid view.
Say and do it.